Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Epic Future Space, and there are lots of exciting things happening right now. Lots of really exciting things. First of all, let's talk about ATK and the Liberty rocket. ATK is partnered up with Eves Astrom to build the Liberty rocket, having their SRB, the solid rocket booster, as the first stage, and the first stage of the Ariane 5 rocket, the Vulcan 1 engine, being the second stage of the Liberty rocket. And it's really, that's cool and all, you know, it seems like the Ares 1 to me, but whatever. And so far they've just had proposals for it to be a satellite launcher as well as a crew launcher for the other commercial crew programs. And you know, they haven't gotten any funding, but they have signed several Space Act agreements with NASA to get data, just to get help to make sure that everything will be, you know, human rated and it would be a good launcher. I'm excited about it, but what really gets me excited about their whole thing is their international cooperation. They're not going through their governments, they're just, you know, collaborating, and that gets me really excited. But they now have a third member to their team. They have recently teamed up with Lockheed Martin to have a fully functional proposal to have their own capsule to fly people into space. What was going on is Lockheed Martin is building the Orion capsule, and it was originally for the Constellation program, but that got canceled, but Orion survived and is going to be NASA's next crew vehicle to ride on the SLS and possibly other vehicles. And what they were doing back in the Constellation days is they were building two different versions of the capsule. One of them was going to be the Deep Space Orion capsule that was made mostly out of aluminum to protect them from radiation and stuff, and has a really strong heat shield. And then they had what they were calling the Orion Lite vehicle, which was made mostly out of composite materials and would be mostly just for low Earth orbit operations, going to the International Space Station and what have you. Excuse me. What they also did is they were working on a launch abort system that would be a pusher launch abort system instead of a pole tower, you know, a launch abort tower. That was called the MAX Abort System, and that was going to be for NASA. And they did a test flight of it, and it was really successful. It was really awesome. And I felt that they should have gone with that system instead of the launch abort tower. But what they've done is, since Lockheed Martin did pretty much all the work on that, not only are they continuing the Orion Lite development, they're also doing the MAX Launch Abort System. They're going to combine those two elements with the elements of the Liberty rocket to have a full proposal for the next round of the CCDev program. And that's really cool, you know, that gets me excited. It's just having another player out there to do that. And whether or not I think that they will be successful doesn't really matter. So, what else has been happening? It is blowing my mind right now. SpaceX and Bigelow Aerospace have teamed up. Yeah! Probably my two favorite companies to talk about have finally teamed up to work together. So what happened was Robert Bigelow announced that he has teamed up with SpaceX to have SpaceX provide launch services and cargo flights to his private space stations. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to work together to have an international marketing campaign starting in Asia, in Japan, to have a fully functional system, you know? SpaceX will take you there and we'll provide the space stations. And it's going to be not only for, you know, international space agencies, but universities, and anyone who needs to do any sort of microgravity experience, or even if they just want to do tourism, whatever. But it's awesome because the Bigelow space stations, I feel, are going to be the future. And what SpaceX is trying to do to have the most safest system to get people into space, and working on reusability as well, this really could be the future. Now, in the past, Bigelow kind of had not an exclusive contract, but the only people they were working with to send people to their space stations was Boeing and their CST-100 capsule. And after this announcement was made, I was like, well, how does Boeing feel about all this? And apparently, they're cool with it. They said, you know, according to them, and what Robert Bigelow has said several times in the past, is we don't have an exclusive contract with Boeing. Yes, we want to use them, but it's sort of the same way what NASA's trying to do with the CCDev program of having multiple competitors. The same thing is what's going on with Bigelow Aerospace and Boeing and SpaceX. They're not necessarily competing for the contracts, but I mean, whoever gets there first is going to start, you know, is going to start making money first. And it's just good to have redundancy. And probably what's most likely is that both companies will be going to the Bigelow space stations. And you know, I think that this is a good thing, because even if neither one of those companies, which I feel are probably the most likely to get the CCDev program and to get the contracts to send American astronauts to the International Space Station, is this provides an opportunity for anyone anyone who doesn't win in the CCDev program to have another destination to go to in low Earth orbit. And that's what we need. We need more destinations. Excalibur ALNAS needs to get a huge funding increase and get whatever they need to get out there as well. I mean, we need to have as many destinations as possible. And the future is now. There's so much cool stuff happening. I'm really excited about it. And I'm sorry that I haven't made more videos, but I'm going to. I swear, I promise. I'm going to try to knock out as many videos as I can. I still have a ton of great footage from the Space Access Conference that I want to show you guys. So I'm going to try to pump out as many videos as I can today and get this out there for you guys. So yeah, be excited about space, and I will see you guys next time. And remember, ad astra, to the stars.